I'm Caroline Dowd-Higgins. Thank you for listening to Your Working Life, my podcast series featuring thought leaders in the career and personal growth arena. I know you spend a significant portion of your life at work, so I'm on a mission to provide you with tools, inspiration, and resources so you can enjoy your career and love your life. And I am so honored and delighted to welcome my very special guest to the show today, Frances Hesselbein. Frances, welcome to the show.
I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, you are so welcome. It is a great pleasure for me to have you on the show, and I want to tell our listening audience all about you. Frances Hesselbein is a Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and she's the president and CEO of the Frances Hesselbein Leadership Institute, formerly the Leader to Leader Institute. And she's the editor-in-chief of the award-winning quarterly journal, Leader to Leader, as well as co-editor of 27 books translated into no less than 29 languages. And Frances, I'm delighted that we're going to be talking today about a brand new book. This is, of course, Peter Drucker's 5 Most Important Questions Enduring Wisdom for Today's Leader. But this is a newly published and enhanced edition of this iconic book. So what brought you to this new edition?
We are very aware that Peter Drucker's wisdom, his philosophy, is as important to millennials as it is to people of your generation or my generation, but not all millennials would be exposed to Peter Drucker. So we decided we would publish a new edition of the 5 most important questions that one can ask the organization. And I'm holding it, the 5 most important questions, enduring wisdom for today's leaders. And we decided that in addition to having the great leaders who wrote the initial chapters, we would ask then a millennial, an equally great and wonderful writer, to write one. So this has chapters by millennials as well as great leaders of your generation, my generation. It covers the whole landscape of authors. And it was time. Peter Drucker's wisdom is eternal. Doesn't matter. You can be 20 or 30 or 40, 60, any age, and somehow Peter speaks to you as though he is speaking just for you and to you. So it is amazing how we are now 25 years old. We have been the Peter Drucker Leadership Institute, and when we lost Peter, he passed. We gave the name back to his family, and over my dead body, they named it for me, but we know we are still the Peter Drucker Leadership Institute.
Well, that's wonderful, Frances. Peter is smiling down from someplace, right?
Yes, he is.
He is.
I'm so glad you can feel that because I certainly can.
And I agree with you 100% that his wisdom is eternal. And what I love about this book is that it is multi-generational. And I know that one of your co-authors and co-producers of the book is Joan Kuhl, who focuses on why millennials matter. And you know this, but I want to share it with our listeners. In the year 2020, 50% of the workforce will be made up of millennials, who are now the generation approximately 32, 34 years of age and younger. So this is an incredible investment in their future as leaders.
It is, and anytime I have an opportunity to speak, pardon me, to speak to groups of millennials, I get there. They are so remarkable. They give me hope for the future because they are the future. But one thing they always ask me, it doesn't matter whether it is cadets at a military academy, seniors at a great university, it doesn't matter. Someone always asks me the same question wherever I am in the country.
Wow.
Mrs. Hesselbein, what makes you so positive?
Mm.
Does that surprise you?
It does not. You are the power of positivity, but share your secret, please.
And so I answer them. First, I look them right in the eye and say, I am very positive about the future because of you and your generation. And they look shocked because they're not used to hearing this about themselves.
Right.
And I say that scientific study by Pew Study Center has shown us that right now the people we call the millennials are more like the 30s and 40s, 1930s and 40s leaders, more like them than any cohort since the 1940s. Isn't that exciting? They're excited to hear it, and they don't know that about themselves.
It is. And it's wonderful to see how leadership trends are really cyclical and come back to
Yes,
us.
yes, I
So,
love it.
Francis, would you please elaborate? We've got these 5 incredible questions from Peter Drucker's original book. So let's take one at a time. Question number 1 is, what is our mission? Why is that so important?
Because mission is solely why do we do what we do? Now, you can work very, very hard and fail if you don't know why are we doing, why am I doing what I'm doing. Mission is solely why do we do what we do? And when you have that passion and the mission is clear, Peter Drucker says your mission should fit on a t shirt. Now,
That's
that
great.
means you don't get beyond 7 words, but it's wonderful to remember. And so we are mission focused and then values based. You
Do you
have to know, yes.
forgive me for interrupting, Francis. I was just going to ask, what is your wisdom for young and emerging leaders as they discover their mission?
Um, my advice is you're on the right track. You're not just saying, well, this is what we do. You are beginning with, this is why we do what we do. And a short, powerful, passionate mission statements that describe solely why can be the most energizing, inspiring part of the whole impetus.
Your energy is palpable even through Skype. So I thank you for that. You're just energizing me. Francis, the question number 2 is, who is our customer? So unpack that for our audience.
Well, who is our customer? Um, and that Peter deliberately uses that term. And you say, oh, we have thousands of customers, all kinds of customers. You're already going down the drain. Everyone has a primary customer.
Mm-hmm.
And we work very hard. And finally, we describe who is our primary customers. Now, there are lots of other supporting customers, but you have a primary customer. Once you've described that, then you don't waste time in too many areas. You're able to focus. And Peter never said focus one time. Peter always says it 3 times. You have to focus, focus, focus. I can hear his,
You can channel his
yeah,
voice.
I can hear his voice right now.
Well, let's take that a step further and look at question number 3. What does the customer value?
Yes, not we know what is good for him, and we don't need to even worry about what he values because we're the great authority. No. Who is the customer? And you can't say, oh, everybody is. No. We have one primary customer, and when we have decided, yes, this is our customer, then we step back and say, what does the customer value? Not, we know what is good for him. And when we do that, we're very close to the customer and we're able to develop the support, the program, whatever it is that we do for the customer, we are able to focus sharply on the needs, the wishes, the dreams of that customer.
And Francis, you advocate for going to the customer and asking, what do you want? What do you value? How can we help you?
That's right. That's right. And this is part of Peter Drucker's philosophy. I always joke about my tattoos, and people look shocked when I say I have several, and when I say, but they are in visible ink. You can't read them, but they are there. And both of them are Peter. Ask, don't tell. The other is think first, speak last.
So important.
Now, if we would remember that, the people who say, I told him and I told him and I told him and he just didn't get it, instead of asking, making it circular. Peter was so wise and he was able to distill the language ask, don't tell. Think first, speak last.
You know what
It's Drucker.
I also love, Francis, about that is it really engages the leader as an active listener.
Yes, yes. And I love the term you use. Yes.
So let's go to question number 4. And why are the results so important? And the question is, what are our results?
Yes, you see, if you go through the first 3, what is our mission? Who is the customer? What is the customer value? You can't stop there. You had to have you study and say, what have been our results? And number 5, what is our plan? How do we meet the needs of that customer? And we know them very well. And we're focused on the customer and not, we know what is good for you.
I
Now,
understand.
give me the rest of that. I didn't fully. Oh, good intentions are not enough. You can't say, well, I'm doing the best I can and I'm trying hard and my vision of them and on, but it's always I, and me, and my, not what does the customer need? What does the customer value? Why are they coming to us? And when we sharply focus on the customer and the needs of the customer, it becomes very circular and very intense. And there's a sense of we're all part of it. Engagement is a good term for the Drucker experience.
I like that, the Drucker experience of engagement. So, Francis, help me understand the necessity of measuring our results.
Of the repeat that.
Certainly. Yes, there's a section in the book that talks about qualitative and quantitative measuring of results. Tell me more about that.
Well, when we make the plan and say, this is why we're doing what we're doing, and this is what we are going to do, and these are the results we expect, and these are the resources we're going to pour into it when we reach 6 months or 12 months, whenever we said we're going to measure our results, and then we move to do this. And we're tough with ourselves. We measure the results, and we're very clear about in these three areas, we have been very successful. And in some others, we practice something Peter calls planned abandonment. We have been doing some things that sound wonderful on slides and charts and all the ways we communicate, but somehow it doesn't connect. And so it's not important for the customer. So we have something Peter called planned abandonment. We plan when we're going to close that door. Now, lately, we've been taken with Emerson. In about 1640, Emerson said, "Be ye an opener of doors for those who follow after ye." I just take the first half. Be ye an opener of doors. And when we think about this and we open one door as we close another, it is amazing the opportunities we can provide for people on the journey.
I love that. Be ye the opener of doors.
Be ye an opener of doors for those who follow after ye. Sometime in the 16th century, Emerson said that, and I keep it in my little head, have always done that, and it's fun to think about. Time to close that door.
Yes.
Time to open a new door. And it has to be planned abandonment because you can't have all the doors open at one time. So we look at these three doors and we say, I think we've done a good job there and it's time to move on. Planned abandonment.
And Francis, I love that because you're really giving permission to have closure on certain things, right?
Yes.
And you have to conserve your energy for the open door.
And you can't say we've done this, oh, we've always done it this way. We've always done this for the last years, and we always, no, we say thank you very much as we close that door. We have new customers with new needs, and the world has changed. And so we are able to open the right doors for our customers now and of the future.
So the last question is, what is our plan? And you spoke so beautifully about planned abandonment. Peter also talks about never really being satisfied. Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, when you finish his 5 questions, it used to be when we began with Peter, it was 3 questions. What is our mission? Who is the customer? What is the customer value? And after we promoted it all over the world and had gorgeous posters made, Peter said, there are really 5 questions. You have to measure your results. What have been our results? And you end with step 5. What is our plan? So you begin with mission. Why do we do what we do? And then, if we're going to fulfill that mission, be guided by that mission, what are the action steps that we have to take, and what is our plan? But mission and values come first. And when they do, they light a fire. And the fire doesn't go out. And it's something beyond the leaders, beyond us. And it's one of the most exciting parts of the leadership of the future.
I agree. I agree. And to that end, Francis, describe the to serve is to live philosophy.
Well, we have a little joke around here. I say I have tattoos, and when people look shocked, I explain invisible ink. You can't see them, but they are there. And one says, to serve is to live. That's the big one. Ask, don't tell is Peter's language. Think first, speak last, also Peter. Now, if on one hand you know to serve is to live, then the future, it's a bright future. And you don't worry about opening the doors and moving forward and finding fellow travelers who will be with you. And it becomes our journey. And today's leadership opportunities are incredible. And that's why I say, I look ahead, I see a bright future. And I am so positive about it because the millennials right now, and they are more like the 1940s and 30s that we call the greatest generation. And now we have a new one, and they are more like the 1930s and 40s, says Pew Study Institute, than any other cohort since. Now, isn't that exciting?
It really
And
is.
when I visit the military academies or universities, colleges, I am so inspired. I practically don't need that airplane to come home. I'm flying so high.
Frances, what is one parting bit of advice that you would give to our aspiring millennial leaders? Certainly to read the book, but what would you share with them as they begin this new leadership journey? If you could distill it into one bit of advice.
I would begin with respect for all people is essential.
Wonderful.
We begin that way. And when we have that respect, it becomes circular. And then I would choose my mission. Why do I want to do what I do or what I will do? And I'm so passionate about it, I can't do anything else. That's the future. And then I would pour all my energy and devotion and commitment to mission. And I would develop a very short list of values. These are the values I will live by. And I would remind myself. And there would never be a day when I would say, well, I can't be true to that value today, but tomorrow I'll make up for it. No, we live those values. Commitments to mission. We live our values. And we have this energy and devotion and belief and passion for the bright future that we are going to help develop. And for the millennials, it is their bright future, and all of us will share it.
Well, I am so grateful to you for sharing this wisdom and expertise. And the book is extraordinary. I have my copy right in front of me, and I want to remind our audience this is Peter Drucker's 5 Most Important Questions Enduring Wisdom for Today's Leaders, plural, and Frances Hesselbein and Joan Snyder-Cool have created and published an enhanced edition, and it's just spectacular. It's produced by Wiley, and it is widely available all over the internet booksellers and in your favorite neighborhood bookstore. Frances Hesselbein, what a joy. You made my day, and I am so grateful to have spent time with you.
Well, I've loved it, and may I add that China and Russia, and we have 5 countries all over the world who are publishing it. Isn't that exciting?
That's thrilling. That's thrilling. Yes. And it shows the global.
Korea,
yeah.
Yes. Korea, China,
Germany,
and
Japan.
There's one anyway, 5, but we have others lined up signing on. And I think there's something exciting about bringing Peter Drucker all over the world to our young leaders who will be our leaders of the future. And so it's wonderful to be in those parts of the world.
It is. Well, Frances, I thank you for sharing this great gift of Peter's with your wisdom and all of these wonderful millennial leaders woven into the book, as well as some seasoned leaders. It is truly a multi-generational jewel.
Well, thank you. And be an opener of doors is the little voice we hear behind us.
I shall, my dear, and I hope our paths cross in person sometime soon.
Oh, they have to. We'll make it happen.
We shall. Thank you, Frances. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you very much. It was a great honor.
Thank you.
Bye.
I want to thank the listeners for tuning into Your Working Life, where my goal is to help you design your career destiny so it doesn't happen by default. True career and life satisfaction is possible, and it's time to embrace what you love doing so you can do more of it. I'm Caroline Dowd-Higgins. Take good care.